Welcome to your new SideQuest podcast with the intention of helping you through the game of life with mindful reframing and awareness as we all move through this journey called the human experience. It's time to level up. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to your new SideQuest. Living in alignment attracts miracles. I just wanted to say thank you everybody for tuning in, listening to our feelings and thoughts. We really appreciate you guys because, like I said, we never really expected anyone to really listen to us, but you guys are here listening to our feelings and our mindful reframing. Really appreciate it. And please, again, if you didn't know, we have our Instagram at new.sidequest on Instagram.
We've been pushing out a lot of reels recently, so it gives us a sneak peek, or it gives you guys a sneak peek of what each episode is about.
So please follow us and like and comment and do all the other stuff. But let's jump right in. We are talking about living in alignment. So the story is that just like one random day, it was recently, I woke up and I was like texting Zach. I was like, hey, Zach, we're actually doing something that is really aligned to what we really value. And things are just lining up and it just feels really good. And the fact that we're doing something that we are aligned with, it will eventually lead us to finding like the right partner that will align with us, right?
Yeah, I remember that text that morning. I just finished the gym and then I just was feeling so good about my life and where things are going, hitting my goals and stuff. So it gave us this clarity where we're both like aligned with what we're doing in our lives, that everything just clicked. It made sense. And so that clarity just brought out some really positive emotion between us, right? I remember like we were both going back and forth like 100, like each other's texts and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it just felt like this internal shift happened when I that that I realized that we are actually doing the things that we are meant to be doing right now. There's like it just feels right.
For sure.
And it just made a lot of sense intuitively. So let's define what living in alignment means.
So living in alignment is choosing actions that reflects your values, your passions, and truth, not just what looks good or gets external approval.
So Zach, tell me about something you're recently doing that feels like you're just aligned with.
hmm So recently, I've been making short films, and I remember like when I was first starting out with video, I wanted to be a filmmaker, and at one point, I labeled myself as a filmmaker, but I wasn't. I'd never been on a production set or actually even made a film.
Right, I remember asking you that question. I'm like, Zach, wait, have you ever been on set before? And then,
Yeah, gave me a little imposter syndrome, but
yeah.
it's all right because I proved to myself that I can pursue my calling. And that's exactly what happened a few weeks ago. I filmed a rooftop action scene with some friends and posted it and got lots of like praise and comments on it saying it's pretty good. And it was actually my first short film with fight choreography, which led to a second film that I made with the same director friend who wrote his first script. And we're still in the process of creating it, but during production, I was such in a good flow state, and everything felt like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and what I want to do, that it just felt right. I made the right connections. I was doing what I wanted to do as a cinematographer, and I learned so much from that day that it just gave me so much good insight and a lot of things that I was like interested in too. And I found a lot of passion in it. So that opportunity allowed me to find a new passion when before I was feeling lost. I thought my identity was tied to being just a content creator and videographer, but now I can be a filmmaker. So what this leads me to is a good outlook on my career because now instead of just doing like videography, like weddings and corporate gigs in the off season, I can do narrative film. So that's something that I wanted to do exactly.
Like this whole time you wanted to do that, right? And that's why you learned how to pick up a camera, you like color grade and all that stuff. And you first did that just for like YouTube and
Yeah.
social media, right? And then
Yeah, I did that as part of my own personal content. And though it was a good learning curve for myself, I realized that this entire time, like all that color grading, all those vlogs, it was good practice to lead me up to creating those first films recently. So,
yeah, they were all
yeah.
like catalysts for leading up to what you've just recently experienced, right? To actually be
Yep.
on set. And how did they find you again?
So I randomly reached out to a friend. His name is Sifu Nate, and he knew me because he saw me do content with his friend Monkey Leroy, and then I guess we finally like collaborated together and thought about just shooting something on the fly. So it's those spontaneous opportunities like that that um, lead to more planned opportunities and bigger projects in the future.
Yeah, so it seems like even though things don't seem aligned in the beginning because it's kind of messy, right?
Yeah.
It actually results in it actually being part of the path to what you actually wanted to do.
Yeah, that search for my calling wasn't like a linear path. It was like, what you said, it was a little messy at first, but eventually I found myself there.
Yeah, that was the path. The mess was the path, and it led you to where you wanted to be. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Right. And you told me about a recent revelation that you had with your content too, right?
Yeah, so the thing is with me recently, I don't know if you guys are following me on Instagram at Hi Derek, but I started off as just doing food content, being the food influencer, the foodie, quote unquote, which I am not really. But I originally I always wanted to tell stories, and that's where my training is. That's where my education came from, is like, you know, film, and we tell stories. And I just decided at one point, I was scrolling on my Instagram, that I was just so sick of the content I was seeing and the content I was making, because all I was creating was videos that were saying, I went to here and this is what I ate.
Hmm.
That's like the same thing, like over and over again. I went here and this is what I ate. And internally I was like, ah, no, this is not it. Like I can't keep doing this, because all I want to be is a storyteller. So I shifted my content. I pivoted into more of a story-based um, reel, or story-based videos that convey like a certain thought, or like a certain idea that I want to communicate, that would possibly, hopefully, connect with other people. And then, I want to be watched for me, not for what I'm eating.
Yeah, or for what you're promoting, right? Because the formula for your reels or the intent behind it was just to talk about the food or promoting a restaurant or something, which
Yeah,
gets stale really fast.
yeah, I didn't want to sound like a freaking infomercial like every reel, and I
Yeah.
don't want to be a sellout,
Yeah,
I
it's like,
just
have you ever done this? Have you ever been to
yeah.
this?
And I'm like, I was so sick of it. Like I'm so sick of it. Like there's nothing wrong with it though, because you know, I see the value in information based content. Like, you want to eat somewhere, where should I eat? And then you consume all this content.
Yeah.
Like I see the value in it, but just for me, like personally, I need something deeper. I need something that makes me feel connected, and also share. I want to share a part of me to my viewers, and I want them to feel connected to me, because that's all I ultimately want as a content creator, is to feel connection.
Yeah. One point I wanted to emphasize too is that it's sad seeing how Instagram is overrun by like ads now. Like people just creating like infomercials, like you said. But the fact that you're able to recognize that there's just too much, there's too many of that, and you want to create something different. you want to create something that's authentically you, that's so powerful. And that's going to make a big difference moving forward with creators like us.
I believe so. I just now that AI is like on the rise, everything will start to look like the same shit, right? I think what we can do as creators is to actually make content that feels personal,
Yeah.
like not
It's more human and not
yeah,
AI.
yeah, more just authentically like a human.
Yeah. Soon we're going to have people as gorillas talking in place of them.
Dude, like there's so many channels or so many profiles that are making like a gorilla, a yeti type of content. I'm like, this is the same shit. Like, are they using
Hmm.
the same like models or something? Or
Yeah. So would you still do those kind of content, like if a restaurant reaches out to you or something, or wants you to do like, you know, those previous style of reels that you used to do?
so if I'm compensated, yeah, you know, like I gotta sustain myself eventually. I know like for the main part, I do want to just create story based content, but if someone fairly compensates me, they want me to do it for them, like of course, then why not? Like it'll be like commercial every so many reels.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Like I really don't mind doing it. It's just for my main focus is really just to be story based,
That's
like
good.
overall. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that now that I'm more clear on my mission and my calling too, and the kind of content that I resonate with, I feel like I'm I'm getting better at the ability to say no to the things that I don't want to do. So, one example that came up pretty recently is I was invited or I had the opportunity to create social media content for UFC gym. And a friend reached out and he created a whole group and was looking forward to working with me for that entire month. And I remember telling you that, like, I was just questioning, like, why am I even doing this? Like,
It's funny. He asked me to, but
yeah,
like I knew right away that I didn't want to do it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the concept was going to be dumb,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, I thought to myself like I already have a gym membership and I'm more in line with creating short films. And so when I reached out to this friend, I was just asking like what's his idea of the concept, and he said he's just going to create social media content and YouTube and stuff like that. So it made me just be straightforward and tell him that like, hey, look, I'm right now I'm trying to create more narratives and short films, and I really want to focus on that more this year. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pass up on this opportunity in a nice way, like yeah, and telling him like I will be down for future opportunities that look like this, but for now, this isn't where I'm leading to.
Yeah, it looked more influency,
Yeah,
right?
influency, yeah,
More than
promotional.
promotional or even more than narrative, right?
Yeah. And when I said that to him and he understood immediately, personally for myself, I felt this release. Like I felt like so good. And because I was in line with my values and my identity.
But
Yeah.
how about like what if he paid you like a
If he
pretty
paid me.
you would probably do it, right, though?
I would take it because at least it has something to do in that fitness niche
Yeah.
and business. It would be totally different.
Yeah, like I said, if we're fairly compensated for our time, then fuck yeah, we'll do it.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of hard times right now. We gotta make
Yeah.
money.
But if it's something we're doing for free, then
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah, it the free work we would call it the quote unquote free work is more like we want to do it only if it is aligned with something that we value or we actually really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, bottom line, I would say the importance of saying no is that it creates space for the things that you want to do. And it also reinforces like self respect, right? Because you don't want to be doing something you don't want to do. And you always want to listen to yourself.
Yeah, that's a form of self-abandonment. If you keep saying yes to the things that you actually don't want to do,
Yeah.
you're abandoning yourself. So let's talk about how this concept we talked about, a partner kind of finding you eventually because you're living in alignment with yourself.
Yeah, how does that ultimately attract you to that right partner?
I would say that if you're living authentically, you're true to your own values, like your interests and to who you are, and you're not performing, right? You're not putting a mask on, you're not being fake, you're being real. Like you're kind of filtering all the trash that's out there, and someone that really values you or the things that you value, like it will naturally occur. Like you will naturally attract the right partner because you're putting yourself out there, you're being real, you're being authentic.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna see that, and the right person is eventually gonna see that.
Yeah, and the right person is going to fall in love with the real you, which feels so good
Yeah,
versus when you have to put on a mask and perform.
man, like I'm so sick of having that feeling of needing to perform to be attractive. I'm
Hmm.
so sick of it. Like I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, because of what society makes to be conventionally attractive man.
Yeah, I, I know that we both agree we're done with that. Like we are not ever gonna try to perform for love anymore. We're just done. This is our authentic era.
Yeah, and you know why it's better that way? Because when we're not performing, we're not seeking approval externally because we're already approving ourselves by doing what aligns with us.
True, we are connected to us. We're choosing us, and therefore we no longer need an external source of validation.
Exactly.
I was talking to you about how my engagement tanks now because of my new content, because I pivoted. And to me, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of sucks, but like eventually in the end, I'm gonna be connecting to the right audience from now on versus me like performing for them to just get external validation of likes and comments and engagement. I just don't give a shit anymore because I'm
Yeah,
being true.
that's true. You're filtering out the trash
Mhm.
and you're attracting the people that do resonate with your new lifestyle, your new branding.
And that just ultimately just feels fucking good. It feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you say our mindful reframing for this episode is?
So, our mindful reframing for this episode is living in alignment is not about perfection, it's about honesty. The more you live in truth with yourself, the more naturally things will fall in place career, relationships, fulfillment. And you don't need to chase. What's meant for you will find you when you're being true to you.
Yeah, so that's it for this episode. Zach, take it away.
All right. Thanks for sticking around, guys. And we hope that this episode helps you find alignment in your life. And if it does and it brings you clarity, be sure to give us 5 stars on Spotify as well as Apple Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is your new SideQuest podcast episode, and thanks for listening.
Side quest complete.